Luca Nation, Cage and Andrew are back. Monday evening episode for you guys following an awesome NFL Sunday. And as we do, we want to include you guys in on what we have going on. So this weekend, or maybe Friday, we got an influencer pack from the Arena Club Bleaker Trading.
Oh, yeah.
And as we always do, we got two of them. And Cage is a huge Yankees fan. So he's keeping his.
My son already dropped it, so I can't
Did he
give it
really?
away. It's ready. No, I'm just kidding.
You're
Look at you.
lying.
Look how upset. Look how upset you are. You're like, no. Oh, just a big one.
So we have our Instagram community, but really you guys, the ones that tune in every day, that according to our metrics, listen to almost 100% of the episode, which is unheard of in this clickbait, move on to the next content world. I wanted to reward you guys. So to the listeners, I'll show you guys here on camera. And on the podcast, same thing. So this is a Jeter signed Arena Club oversized slab. I'd say we probably charge infinity dollars for something like this. Large slab, Jeter signed. I'm going to find a way to give it to one of you guys. So stay tuned. On Friday's episode, you will get an update as to how you can win this giveaway. We're not sure yet. It might be Join Our Whatnot show on Sunday. I don't know. I'm going to think about it all week. But one of you guys that listens on the podcast or on YouTube, this slab is going to a new home the way Luca Nation does. So that's what I wanted to open up with. We got two influencer packs, and we wouldn't feel right keeping both. We want one of you guys, one of our beloved listeners, to receive it. So feel free to send me some DMs. Be like, hey, I'd be the perfect candidate. Maybe I'll go that route.
Hey now.
I don't know yet, but on Friday, you will have more information.
Works. Nice and easy. So
now let's get into the show.
Denver, Russell Wilson throwing like one touchdown. The offense is anemic. He's in first place. AFC West. Got the Raiders with no win. You got the Herberts. They're 1-2. Mahomesies, your homie, my homie. He's 2-1, tied with Let Him Cook, Captain Russ. Russell Wilson, 2-1. Surprised?
It's a parody season. I think we saw something similar last year in the NBA. Right, there was the dynasty of the Warriors. Then you had the Bucks win and then last year you didn't know the Warriors are going to be the champions, and obviously until the
only
end.
You did. You knew they were going to be the champions. You knew from before they tipped off game one.
I said, watch out for this Warriors team. I still think this Warriors team is criminally underrated.
I can't wait for basketball. You make some great calls in basketball. Now that I've become a professional video editor, I can't wait to start clipping your calls. You were on the Grizzlies and the Warriors before the season started last year. Nobody else. You're on Alcaraz before anybody else. I mean, I'm gonna start giving you some credit. I'm gonna start posting you in my stories because you're better looking than me anyway.
For World Cup.
Ooh,
my dad and I were talking about soccer. I'll say Brazil is going to get to the semis. I think Brazil is going to get to the finals actually.
And who's
phenomenal?
Who's the best player on Brazil? Garrincha?
It's honestly Neymar, but Vinny Jr. is like it's tough. Like it's the price discovery. Neymar is fantastic, but his cards sell so cheap.
Yeah,
and Vinny
they've really
Jr.
fallen just like him.
I don't know why people don't like Neymar.
Because he falls down a lot without getting touched.
Is that what makes you cardboard irrelevant if you fall?
Well, because he's now a meme. Anthony Davis could put up a great year this year, but he's still going to be street clothes. Neymar could put up a great World Cup. He's still going to be known as the dude who falls down and flops all over the place. So yeah.
I know we're starting out joking, but let me turn it to a really dark side. Anthony Edwards, after what he said, the homophobic slurs, is he cardboard irrelevant now?
I have sold every piece of Anthony Edwards, both physical and digital, that I own. And I was building up a heck of a
because of that?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Not buying Edwards anymore. One thing.
Personally, or because you think the market will respond?
Both. And the market should respond. But both. I mean, whether the market responds or not, it's just not. I mean, look, you said this probably more than anyone in the hobby space that I've heard. You vote with your money, right? Yes. Whether it's in politics, with cards, wherever it is, you vote with your wallet, right? That's what you say. Well, I get to choose what I spend my money on, and there are enough people out there for me to invest in or to buy as a fan or a collector, and I don't have to put my money into that. So
Interesting.
Maybe I'm an idiot.
That happened a few weeks ago, and Cage and I talk almost every day. But that hasn't come up. I'm actually.
Yeah,
I'm
remember
just,
how many Edward Silvers I was stockpiling those, and they were one of the only things that didn't go down in value on Panini
right.
Digital, and I
Do
don't have
you
any
think?
left.
Did you see Leangelo signed with the Hornets?
Yeah, I saw that. Buzz City.
Is LaMelo an interesting play? Is LaMelo, the Justin Jefferson going into next year as everyone's looking for Scotty Barnes? Do we have an opportunity with LaMelo?
Maybe. I mean, LaMelo is yesterday's news. I saw a good story. I don't know who posted it. It was might have been Lamine. Like, what year do you stop being a prospect? I think it had like the Trae Young baby on the diapers, and then the Trae Young old Trae Young. It was like first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Like, when do you stop being a prospect? And LaMelo, it seems like he's been a rookie for 3 years because of the Panini release schedules. People are still breaking LaMelo rookie year flawless like last week. You know what I mean? Like the Cade Cunningham rookie class, some of the higher end stuff either hasn't come out yet or is just coming out, So it feels like LaMelo's been a rookie for a long time because of, how the extended, release schedule is. But he's going into his third
Luka's
year,
still
right?
a prospect.
Is he? Because he's very young, but
I don't think it's a year thing. I think it's an expectation thing. I think you're no longer a prospect when you don't meet or exceed expectations.
No, I think that's a failed prospect. I think prospecting means you're trying to get into something before it's discovered. Hence, like, I'm prospecting on gold, right? I'm a prospector. I'm going out there to try to find gold, right? I guess there is some connotation to what you have, right? I mean, if somebody has failed, it's a failed prospecting. Luka can still turn into more of a gold than he is, but I would think prospecting Luka was buying him when he was $5.
Right, but there's still prospectors in the Luka market. I think the prospectors have left the trade market.
Yeah,
I think there's still
right.
prospectors in the job market.
That's true, because this stuff came down a little bit. And you're right. I think you made a very good comparison, Jefferson and LaMelo. While everybody's looking at Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham and that kind of stuff, LaMelo could be the Jamar Jefferson of this year's class. Week 1 he comes out and scores 40 or has a 35-point triple-double, and everyone's like, whoa, don't forget about LaMelo.
And imagine him imagine him and his brother do some things. What's tough is his main guy from last year, Bridges, is out with domestic violence. I don't think Bridges ever plays again after the photos I've seen. That's his best talent. That's his best offensive weapon. That's not a very good team over there in Charlotte.
Yeah. I mean, other people are going to have to take a step forward. I've always said with LaMelo, you guys could go back to, hundreds of episodes ago, that he doesn't have the ceiling that somebody like an Edwards or even a Cade Cunningham has. I mean, what you're getting out of LaMelo. He can score, but he's pass first. He's a triple-double kind of guy. But I don't think he's going to turn into a superstar type of player.
Tell us about your purchase last night. Or was it 2 nights ago?
Really?
Jackie Robinson.
I was going to post a picture when I haven't paid for it yet.
That's okay. It counts. There's no real seller. Auction house isn't going to cancel the order because Jackie Robinson hit 4 home runs yesterday.
This is true. No, in an auction over the weekend, while everybody was focusing on, basketball cards and baseball cards and the rookie quarterbacks and stuff, I think it was down on like the 20th page of the auction. I saw one of those really cool Hall of Fame plaques. Believe it or not, I've never been to the Hall of Fame. There's a nice little never before stated thing on the show, or no one's ever asked me that, right? I've never been to the Hall of Fame. I live in New York. It's in Cooperstown. It's not exactly around the corner, but it is a day trip. I could drive
Hall of
there.
Fame was in Cleveland.
Canton, I think you mean.
Canton,
that's for football.
Ohio.
That's for football. Canton. And Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, Ohio, Cleveland.
Might be what you were
I think
talking about.
Ohio.
But no. Baseball Hall of Fame is in Cooperstown, New York.
You've never been?
I've never been. No.
That shows how much of a homebody you are.
No, I mean, it's not exactly close. It's not exactly close in New York. New York's pretty. I mean, Niagara Falls is not around the corner from me either. But
have you been there?
That's in New York. Yes, I drove past it once when I was going to court.
Have you been to a Bills game?
I've never been to a Bills game. No.
What are you doing?
That's far, dude.
Bills Mafia, dude.
That's far.
They travel.
Yeah, they do with tables. So anyway, I've never been to Cooperstown, but if you go there, they have Hall of Fame plaques of people. And what they do is you can buy kind of like a paper version of the Hall of Fame plaque. It's yellow with like the bronze kind of plaque on it. And a lot of people collect them autographed. And, some of them are harder to get than others. Some of the people have been, deceased for a while. Some of them, died early. Jackie died in the 70s, I think. And anyway, buried amongst all of this ultra modern cards was one of these Hall of Fame plaques. And on the back, I think it said Best Wishes, Jackie Robinson. And it was in a PSA slab. And it was graded, his autograph was graded Gem Mint 10, which you don't see too many Gem Mint 10 Jackie Robinson autos. Now, I can't get creative pricing with this because you're all going to go look up what I paid, and I can't flip it on you guys and sell it for, $50,000. But I got to tell you, I feel like I got it for a bargain. But it almost doesn't matter because I'm not going to get creative with my pricing because this is one of those things that I would just keep. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, Andrew is going to make me so filthy rich. I'm going to be like Scrooge McDuck swimming in my tower of gold coins. I'm going to have a studio, and behind me on one side is going to be my Jeter Arena Club signature cracked in half because Ian dropped it. On the other side is going to be this Jackie Robinson autograph. Like, I don't need to sell it, so I don't have to get creative. But it was, I guess, the reason why you bring it up, or a couple of reasons. One, it shows I am still buying stuff. I am still in the, quote, game, although this is not a card. Two, I have started buying more memorabilia, autograph type stuff. But three, the strategy there, right? Which is, dig deep enough into an auction. If this were in, one of the other auction houses that specializes in memorabilia and had a bunch of like game used bats and maybe some Jackie Robinson stuff, it probably would have sold for a lot more. But it got buried amongst the Trevor Lawrence cards.
Do you feel that in today's market, work ethic is what can set you apart with this kind of stuff? Like, and it's work ethic. Like, you're not like shoveling,
time.
Like
putting in time. Yeah, putting in time. I mean, it's work ethic, right? I'm not like out there,
right, but
with an axe, like cutting firewood. But yes, it's the same type of thing, right? Like I did spend a long time going through all of the auctions, whether it was Premiere on Thursday, Golden had a Saturday night auction, the weekly on Sunday, which we went through. There were a couple other auctions. RR had an auction last week, some cool type ones that I missed out on, of like the Apollo 13 mission, the being broken. You could actually see some of the broken Apollo 13 picture in space. Like, there's cool shit out there. At least it's cool to me. I'm sure 99%.
Do you think there should be like an Expedia or a Price Grabber or like a Travelocity that pulls from all the auction houses and brings it to you like a little price comparison tool?
It would only be able to do like, for price comparison, only like, common stuff. But I would love it if the major auction houses got together and like allowed like a Boolean search or like, like a search where you could search, put it on auctionreport.com or whatever it is. And here I'm searching and Jackie Robinson auto, and every Jackie Robinson auto in all of the active auctions come up. Yeah, that would be pretty damn cool.
That'd be cool, right? Because we know it once the comps are closed, but we don't know it beforehand. So like, wow, I would have bought that. I missed it, right? Because maybe I always buy on PWCC, but there was one in Golden. So very interesting. Any recaps? Anything you saw from the football weekend that you want to touch on?
No, I mean, recap. Luka Blue Prism was one I was looking at. I wanted to talk to you about that. It's down $22,000 significantly. Yeah, like $22,000 or $23,000 from end of last year was like $80,000.
Yep.
And we didn't talk about it really on like collectible. I mean, Zion Blue is sort of down also. So if you had to buy one, I mean, you could probably get two Zions for the price of a Luka now, the blue.
Right.
Which one would you be in? So is Luka a buy? Is that card now yesterday? Is that part of the creative pricing of stop buying base and silver, buy the low pop parallels? Is that now done? Is that price chasing done on that? That's question one. And question two, did you see Zion's new muscles, and what do you think?
So guy I'm buying right now is Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan Poole, I bought two of his cards. I bought his next day auto for $650, and then which condition doesn't matter, and it's a guy graded a 10 auto. And I bought his PSA 10 Prism Blue color match, same card as the Luka card, just the next year. So the $650 for the next day auto and $1,250 for the blue. it's hard for me to justify that Luka's 15 times better than Jordan Poole.
Okay.
It's hard for me to justify. So
at least you
like
tied it back. I mean, I said, what do you think about Zion's muscles? What do you think about the Luka Blue? And you're like, I'm buying Jordan Poole. But at least you tied it back.
Right. Well, it's
You're
my money doesn't go
here.
You're
saying even though it's down from 80 to 20 something, I'd rather buy 15 Jordan Pooles. You can't justify spending that kind of money on Luka when you think Poole might actually have more upside. I get it.
Correct. And same with Zion. I don't see how Zion's blue, which is $10,000. I saw a similar one. I don't see how Zion is even close to 10 times more valuable than Jordan Poole. So for me, both feel very overpriced.
Is it maybe going back to supply and demand that there are 10 times more people who would rather buy a Zion than would buy a Jordan Poole? The 10 times talent doesn't always mean, equate,
As someone who watches basketball, and I take pride
in watch the game, bro,
and being a little bit ahead of the curve, I think that will change. I think it shifts with performance, and I think it shifts with opportunity. So I think if Luka's team, which I don't think their team is very good, today they said that JaVale's going to play center, and that meets their rotation a little bit better, and they're going to bring in Christian Wood off the bench as a sixth man. Christian Wood can't really defend. I don't have high hopes for this Dallas team at all. At all. I don't think they're going to be as good as next year. I think they're going to be just an average team. Where I think this Warriors team is absolutely stacked. They have their veteran crew, right? They have Wiggins, who's 27 years old, which is just absolutely crazy, entering his prime. Jordan Poole, who I think he's going to kind of take some minutes away from Clay. And then you have this crop of young talent. So I think they're the best team, and I think he's the best young talent on that team.
Not to mention, you have the guy who was picked one spot ahead of LaMelo has never really played for them, and they're going to add him in this year healthy into some rotation spot. Whether he's off the bench, James Wiseman. Pick number 2. Between Edwards. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of him, but if it's anything, you're adding that, a top 2 pick to the champions. Right. You know what I mean?
And you have Moody, you have Kuminga. That team is poised to make a run. I think they're easily the favorites to win the championship. So I can't justify. I think both of those cards are drastically overpriced. Wow. My dad asked me about that. He's like, "Are you buying Luka?" And I just said I can't justify paying Luka's prices even if they've come down for what he's accomplished. I love Luka. I think he's fantastic.
I mean, I think that's fair. It is exactly why I don't buy Mahomes, even though you tell me to buy him all the time. Because even though he's come down,
I don't think that's fair, though, dude.
Why?
Mahomes has a Super Bowl and an MVP.
It's true.
And his team is incompetent. They can win the championship. There's no way this Mavs team is ever going to win a championship with the roster as it's built. Nothing magic happens in the NBA. Like, it's your roster. You're a 12-man roster. And here's the only thing that can happen. Sometimes you have 12-man rosters where you have 3 really young guys that you could trade for a superstar or a superstar and a rotation piece. If that happens, okay, you could say, okay, if they add this piece to Luka, maybe they do win a championship. I don't see that the way this Mavs roster is constructed, they're anything more than a 4 or 5 seed and a second round exit with maybe getting to the Western Conference Finals. That's kind of where I see it. I'll tell you guys a little opportunity in the market that I think you guys can take advantage of. And you guys can tell me in the comments if you think this is ethical or not ethical.
I like this. Ethical versus unethical. Woo! I'm excited.
Well, so Cage yesterday said, remember in the 80s, 60s to 80s, the stock market stayed flat. Remember, in cards, there was a decade where cards haven't gone up and down. Well, if you're just purely speculating or investing, that's not good. But if you're arbitrage kind of trading, there's some opportunity. So what I've been trying to do is buy undergraded, high demand cards, inspect them, crack them, and see if I could use the other grading companies to help. Well, one card I cracked was a Kobe rookie legacy card. Okay. Kobe, not legacy, Kobe Flair Row Zero in a PSA 8. It ended for $500. But the raw cards of Kobe sell for $800-900. The same thing can be said about the Topps paper. There's really nice Topps paper Kobe's in a 7 or an 8 that sell for $50-60, where the raw actually sells for $120 and $125, because people think that when they buy the raw, they have that chance of getting the 10. Now, because I know that it was in a slab that was a 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. Am I selling damaged goods to the market? I'm curious what you guys think in the comments, but I made $300 in a bad crack, a crack that went wrong, right? So it was an 8. I cracked it. I said, this isn't going to do well. This has like a bubble on the top of the card. You take a nice photo, you auction it off, and I made $350. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Unethical?
One, you're amazing. Most of the people that I know that get bad crack, they end up in the hospital. You get bad crack and you end up making money. It's just an amazing thing. I will say that. Number 2, is it unethical? Absolutely not. What if the person who buys your 5 crack sends it in and gets 10? Should they message you back and say, hey, I bought this one too cheap? Because we all know that half of these PSA 5s are 9s or 10s anyway, that some grader decided, I got to get my average down. I really believe that the 5s are because, now you want to talk conspiracy theory, ethics, you want to throw it out there, right? They get an average every month. I think the graders get an average. Like, okay, you're grading modern, you're going to be an average, and we don't want your average above 9. Well, the easiest way to do that is just make sure you're sneaking some 5s in, even though those 5s should be 9s or 10s. And I'm sure I have no proof to this. This is just me throwing it out there. No proof. I'm not behind Willy Wonka's, factory gates. I'm not in there as much as I want to. This Augustus Gloop right here wants to take a dive into the chocolate river, wants to go over the waterfall, wants to win a golden ticket, but can't. I don't know what's going on, but that would make a lot of sense. And I know people who got 5s, cracked them out, sent them back, and got 9s and 10s with their 5s. So as long as you are not cracking out a card, looking at it, seeing that it is smashed up, and then selling it, saying, this is a 9. This card is going to grade a 9. This is a mint card, a gem mint card. As long as you're describing the card, you're taking legitimate pictures of the card, and you're being above board on it, I see nothing wrong with selling a card as raw. I'm sure that I'm probably going to take some heat for this. I might have had a very different answer for you on this issue a year ago, when no one got a 5.
And honestly, here it is, full transparency. Curious to hear what you guys think. It takes a lot of homework. You have to find the right cards. I've seen the opportunity with Kobe rookies because the 10 is so high. I think Jordan is another market that you could take a look at that, because the 10 outpaces the 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way down. People are chasing that 10. So it's interesting that raw card actually outsells a PSA 8.
There you go. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. I do.
Easy.
Crack. A little bit of crack. I mean, crack and crack. How about this? Did you buy some good stuff over the weekend in the PWCC Weekly? Anything you want to let anybody know? Go ahead.
Well, I bought the Embiid. What is the deal with Panini Preferred 2014? Is it like a knockoff brand? Be honest.
I don't know. There are brands they had that they don't make anymore.
Yeah. So it was a Panini Preferred. It was a nice card, nice looking card. It was a Pop 1 on card auto, $444 PSA 10 Embiid, and I got the pool. Those were the 2 big buys. I wanted to take a week off, dude. Honestly, buying a lot of cards and like running the mystery packs and all that stuff, and like it's a lot. It's a lot of money in, a lot of money out, a lot of tracking. And we're doing some things with the network. And honestly, my goal here is not to let my performance on the show slip.
Yep.
And sometimes when you lose focus. So I went very easy. I got the pool and the Embiid and then like a few kind of like $20 cards that I just love to like. I just love those cards. I don't know why. I can't believe more people don't buy $20 cards. They're the funnest.
You know what? I think the PWCC scroll is addictive. I have fallen victim to it myself when we're doing our episode and I'm looking up the cards and let me bid on that one. Oh, Isaac Bruce. I loved him as a kid. Like let me get some Isaac Bruce cards. I mean it's so yeah. I know what you're talking about with the scroll. Yeah, man. I mean, fun stuff. Let's see. Topic wise, what I have for you: football. Crazy week, a lot of parity. Basketball will literally be here before you can say NBA. It is amazing how quickly that will be on us. Aaron Judge is now 2 for 11, but the Yankees have not lost since I made my hey sell Judge now. I got a lot of messages from people saying that they have sold Judge. They sold the day or the day after I made that little post because they understand that they may be leaving some small profit on the table, but that the run-up has just been so much that they're taking their profit. I also got some
and it's
great
okay
messages.
For the next buyer to profit too. Like it's
Yeah.
that's.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah. And listen, the Yankees haven't lost since I made that prediction too. Let's make sure we throw that one out there. So
Cage,
somebody
that is
messaged me, "You're a jinx." I'm like, I'm not a jinx. They haven't lost. The Yankees are on a 7-game win streak.
The Cage, that's actually, we asked zero-sum game or not.
Yeah.
That's when it's not a zero-sum game, right? You bought it early, you took in risk, right?
Yeah.
You made your profit, but you're leaving meat on the bone. Now the
Maybe.
next guy who's already, or gal who's seen Aaron Judge, and he's like, I love what he's doing. Like, oh my God, he broke Roger Maris's record, which actually, by the way, good week to buy Roger Maris maybe, because I've never heard his name brought up as much as this entire week.
Isn't it a good week to buy Barry
sell.
Bonds? I mean, unless you have a problem with steroids, I guess. Because Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs in a season. Because Barry Bonds was such a dominant force in 2004 that he was walked with the bases loaded. Literally intentionally walked with the bases loaded. They gave up a run so that they didn't have to give up 4 when he hit a home run. He was intentionally the opposing manager. I forget who it was. Might have been Montreal he was playing against. The opposing manager, they were up by 2. And Bonds came up with the bases loaded. They walked him and got the out and won the game by 1. It actually was the right move by the opposing manager. That's how much of an imposing figure he was. He also was intentionally walked more times. Like, I think he was intentionally walked. I think it's funny. I think Judge was intentionally walked 11 times this year. I think during that season, Bonds had that many 11 intentional walks over a 17-game span. Like in a 10% chunk of the season, he was intentionally walked. I know it's steroids. I know it's tainted. But if Aaron Judge hits 60-something home runs, whatever he's at now, Sammy Sosa had 3 seasons with more than that. I don't understand.
120 intentional walks in 2004?
Isn't that intentional walks? That means 3 out of every 4 games. He was walked intentionally in almost every game. In 3/4 of the game.
That's how feared he was?
Dude, 73 home runs, and he was intentionally walked 120 times. Walked. I mean, he could hit 100.
If you intentionally walk someone, you lose a run, and the guy gets.
I can't do that. But I mean, that would be great. That he may have, if you're looking at his stats, he may have had more home runs than singles. You know what I mean? Like he came up, it was a home run. He came up, it was a legit home run. And I love the Yankees. I hope Aaron Judge goes on a tear now and hits 4 home runs a game for the rest of the season. But there are a lot of people who have hit more home runs than him. Like I said, Sammy Sosa has 3 seasons with more home runs than him. Bonds had 73 home runs. I know it's tainted. I know it's steroids. Mark McGwire had 70. I mean, I know it's tainted. But what Judge is doing, I know it's an American League record. To me, I don't. I mean, it's a great season. He's having a great season. I'm not going to take anything away from it. He's the MVP. You know, that's a big deal. But can I throw some more? Because people love my Judge takes, and by that I mean they hate them. Can I throw some more ice water on the Aaron Judge take? Do you know how many home runs he has? He's 30 years old. Okay, he'll be 31 in April of next year.
220.
Like 218, 220.
Yeah. Well, I
Mike Trout is also 30. And he has
475.
I think it's 375.
Yeah.
They're the same age. Bryce Harper is younger than Aaron Judge and has a shit ton more home runs than him. Look at all the people who are younger. Mookie Betts is younger than him and has 4 less home runs. There are a million people who are younger than him. Judge, and take it this way. Forget about comparing. Let's just talk about Judge. We just saw Albert Pujols hit his 700 home run. Everyone went nuts. All right? Aaron Judge is 30. He'll be 31 to start next year. How many more years of prime, non-steroid, because all the steroid years clearly don't count. How many years of prime Judge do we have?
Judge is not built to last. He's a big boy.
Let's just say 5 years at 50 home runs a year for the next 5 years. There's no way that's going to happen. But let's just say he does that, right? Complete high side. I'm going to give the Judge fans the best case scenario. 5 more years of 50 a year. He hits 250 home runs. He's still in the 400s. And he's 36. Pujols just hit his 700th. Like, what is the upside for Judge?
There you have it. Pujols is the GOAT.
Not that he's the GOAT. It's just there are so many other people who hit 5. Like, at this point, Judge would have to really hit at like 30 home runs a year for the next decade to just get over 500 home runs for his career. He'd have to hit 30 home runs when he was 40. That year 40 season, he would have to be hitting home runs to get over 500. And that is that's the number. It's always been the number. You can't forget that he is not as young as everybody. Here's another great comparison. Giancarlo Stanton, right? And I know people hate when I bring him up. Mike Stanton. His real name is Giancarlo. He changed it to Michael because people made fun of him. Then he went to Europe, heard people saying names like that, realized that it's okay, that's my name, and then came back and said, that's my name, stop making fun of me, and used it. It's amazing to think that anybody
people made fun of
that. Yeah. I mean, but so that's
Giancarlo.
That's the story on Stanton. But do me a favor. Stanton's a year older than Judge. How many home runs does Stanton have? And I know people are like, Stanton, but Stanton already won an MVP. Which now, after this year, Judge will have one.
375.
Yeah. He has 1 year older than Judge, and he has 375 home runs. 1 more year older and 160 more home runs. I don't think Judge is going to hit 160 next year.
He might.
Consider home run every game, right? But where is the nut hugging for Stanton? He's on the Yankees. If Judge wins a championship this year, Stanton will win a championship this year. He's legit 1 year older.
There's no nut hugging. They just want baseball. People love baseball. They want it to be successful. And the issue with baseball that came to me as NFL, they're breaking records. More yards, more TDs. You see as the game evolves, records are broken by the modern players. Same with the NBA, with the exception of Jordan, because what Jordan was 38 points a game, just insane to fathom. But even now, like we're seeing NBA, we're beating previous records. We're the game is like the current athlete is better than the previous.
38 when their team was scoring 87.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the other part. It's like he was also 40% of the team's points. Now that he would be scoring 60.
Jordan is just in a world of his own. But baseball, it seems like the best records are so far in the past.
It's true. They haven't changed the game for records. Basketball, they sped the game up. They got the 24-second clock. They put the three-pointer in. They actually changed the game to make it easier for the more modern ball. They a lot less contact. They don't really call traveling. I mean, the Euro step used to be called another name. The Euro step used to be called traveling.
Ginobili.
It was called traveling.
Ginobili.
Yeah, well, Chernobyl is where you lived as a child. Ginobili. I know, man. I was making.
Do you know my grandma lived in Chernobyl?
Yeah, this doesn't surprise me.
Well, no, she got.
It explains.
Passed away.
Oh, I don't want to. Oh, come on. How am I? What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? It's now off limits. I can't say anything.
I've been broken ever since.
Oh, this poor guy. But you're right about baseball. But now we're at a point where we're so starved.
Facial hair, and it will only grow right from my chinny chin all the way down.
Oh my God, Chernobyl! That was a fun little movie about Chernobyl. It was like a horror.
Hilarious. It was a comedy. It was a stand-up.
It was a horror. I try to think where I was going. Anyway, do me a favor, just for shits. Next time you have 2 seconds, type in active home run leaders in MLB. Not for you. I'm talking about the people who are out there. And look how far Judge just cracks, I think, the top 25 or top 30. Right? And obviously Pujols and Cabrera are going to be gone. But look at the other guys who are younger and are on this list. The Trouts, the Manny Machados, the Giancarlo Stantons. You know what you're seeing there? You're seeing guys who did it. Guys who were the darlings. Cody Bellinger is on that list. He's 26. There are guys on the list that had their year. They had 2 years. They had a run. And now nobody gives a crap. I'm fearful that happens with Judge because he's humongous, right? He's a Yankee. which, I'm a homer. I'm allowed to say Yankees are better than everybody. You named the whole deal. And for the hobby, being a Yankee allows somebody like Derek Jeter, who was good at a lot of stuff, not great really at anything, to now be a hobby darling. He wasn't the best shortstop playing at the time he played. He really didn't do anything great, but he was above average at everything, and he was a Yankee with a lot of championships. Yeah.
Do you remember when one of our, acquaintances said he was like on the finish line of buying the Yankees?
I do. I do. I believe
so
him.
dumb.
Have you bought the Yankees yet? I doubt it. But maybe.
That's another episode of Luca Nation. We love you. We'll be back tomorrow.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.